Hey everybody, I'm Josh Miller, and welcome to Adorned in Imagination, the transformative power of style and story. Today I'm joined by FloraJane, the Executive Director of Biennial of the Americas here in Denver. Thanks for joining me today, FloraJane.
Thanks, Josh, for having me. This is really exciting and such an honor.
I want to start with thinking about things for you personally. How do you think about the intersection of fashion and identity and culture, and how the way we relate to those things and how they intersect impacts how we show up in the world?
Yeah, that's such a great question. It's certainly not for everyone, I think, but for some of us, I think fashion is part of the story we want to tell other people. It's kind of a way to let them into who we are without words, but also I think it can be an invitation to folks to get to know you a little bit better. I also think there is something really beautiful around what we wear on the exterior can become a conversation point that opens up a door for people to build a friendship, a relationship, a partnership, because it is something that you can easily kind of point to, oh, tell me more about that. I think being the executive director of an organization that has such strong orientation around place, the Americas, the Western Hemisphere, has in some ways, I think, opened up my interest and curiosity into fashion, into identity, into the stories behind all of that in a way that maybe I wouldn't have anticipated 10 years ago. But with that said, I think people would describe me from the past as being being adventurous and wearing a little bit of my spirit in my uniform or my, kind of daily armor. And I think when people spend a little bit of time around who made your clothes, what is the story behind them, why am I wearing what I'm wearing today, how does it make me feel, or what do I want to feel like today? Yeah. It's just a great opportunity we have. I think it's one of the things that we have to kind of shape our day, shape that week, shape what we wanted to tell other people. It is kind of a really great, I think, window into other people. So I don't know if I answered your question, but it does resonate with me.
Yeah, no, that definitely really resonates with me. And one of the things I've really valued with the Biennial's work and the way that you, at least how I have observed you to interact with people, is that you are very much a community builder. And through the Biennial and focusing on the Western Hemisphere and going to Canada, going to Mexico, taking these different trips, is then exposing so many people in Denver and people who have joined from other places to these different cultures. So for me, bringing pieces back from every one of those trips or each one of the experiences has been, then we're carrying this story with us. We're carrying part of it with us. And so I wonder for you, as you stepped into the role with the Biennial and as you all have traveled so much, how that's expanded how you present through that intersection of style and story.
Yeah, I think it's been great to see it evolve. What felt like a little bit of my own personal passion woven into an opportunity for an hour away on the trip or to take a group of people has turned into, oh wow, I didn't realize as many people wanted to resonate with a place, with the makers behind the place. And I think makers broadly, ceramicists, artists, designers, jewelry makers. It was actually on our delegation to Costa Rica that Mariana and I realized, there wasn't a central area we could show off the kind of heart of Costa Rica in a kind of shopping, browsing experience. And so we created a pop-up market in the hotel for the delegation.
Oh, nice.
Bringing all these makers and small businesses to the delegation in kind of a one-stop shop. We can't overlook, I think, especially when I think about cultural diplomacy and the work we're doing, that this piece at the superficial level can feel really based on consumerism. But I think when you dive in a little deeper into the people behind the brands, the products, and the stories they want to tell, you realize, oh, it's part of weaving together this robust experience that includes this. And I think that's just unfolded in a way that I maybe wouldn't have anticipated as being now kind of core to an experience we want to provide our members and stakeholders.
Yeah, one of the things I thought was so fun when we were all in Mexico City was the day when I was out shopping separately, but ran into you all. And so we ended up going to all of these different places like Zine, the fragrances, the different boutiques. One of the things I've really valued is as I'm getting ready every day, I get to think about which parts of these journeys am I carrying with me. You all had the Summit of the Americas here in Denver, and it was Caravana, right? The market that brought all of these different designers and creators in, which was amazing. So this is from Quata Jewelry from there. This ring is from Puerto Vallarta. This is photos from Mexico City. So amazing to be able to carry all of these pieces of the story with us. So that's just one of the things about the biennial and how you all are creating community and expanding the way that we understand each other differently that I've really loved.
Well, I appreciate that, and I love that you're calling this series, Adorned, and I think about that, and I think in a way that you've adorned yourself with your experiences, but there's also these creators behind it. And I think, these are also shared things. So I think inherently there is a community aspect to it that is really beautiful. I also assume when you're wearing these pieces, people say, oh my gosh, I love that. And they want to hear the story behind it, which I just think those are, I don't want to use that word window again, because that is just a window into why you liked it, who made it. It feels like a real privilege, I think, to have these experiences and then to kind of carry them with you with something tangible.
Yeah. Every time that's what's been really interesting, and part of why I wanted to do this series was, especially as we think about what does it mean to be part of a global community, and how do we support independent designers and search out those things that are, you may be supporting a small business, but that business is impacting a whole community. And so like this necklace has been compared to Game of Thrones. It's been called Elfin. When I've worn it, it's created by twins in Mexico. And so every time you get to tell part of the story that then connects people to it, which I have loved and valued. And that was part of what focusing on these different facets, just to expand how we understand that, and how when we search these things out and when we learn about the people whose work we wear and we incorporate into our lives, how that enriches us too.
I don't know if it's always learned to ask, like, wait, where is this from? Who made this? But I think it is, the more we do it, it becomes more commonplace. And we see even our friends and our communities kind of pick up on, oh, I should be thinking about that. Oh, I do want to learn more. Or, yeah, that's exciting. And it makes people, I think, feel more connected to our global world in a way, because borders are imaginary. And so when we start to dive into the cultures and deep practice of creating things for many of the designers and creatives, you're opening up piece to understand a culture, a community, and humanity better.
I agree with that, and I've really valued the different conversations you all have helped generate around that. I mean, it's always fun to see, once people get introduced to different artists or different brands, how those things can start to pop up in other places too. But one thing I'd love to know from you, from the work you've done, the travels, is, are there specific designers, specifically Western Hemisphere with the biennial's focus, that you have discovered through this work that are now part of what you are adorned in as you move throughout the world?
Yes, let me think.
Only a few, right?
Let me think. Before I actually had come to the biennial, there was this necklace I had found. It was this designer, Michelle Ross, and I've kind of paid a little bit of attention since then. Her work is really heavy. It kind of dawned on me maybe 6 months in advance of us going to Toronto. that, we were in Canada, is she actually from? And she wasn't, she is in Toronto. And so we had an opportunity to go visit her studio and meet her. And that just felt like a full circle moment. A maker recently discovers Bronze Age. Some of it feels really minimalist, but there's definitely, I think, a little bit of an edge that I think keeps it interesting, which is what I'm kind of attracted to. The Uruguayan sisters who behind Catch, I love some of their knitted pieces. Sophie Simone, who I think you've met, who came with Caravana. I love her pieces and I love her energy behind it. So jewelry-wise, she's up there. Oh, and I'd say Carolina Kay. I've actually had an opportunity to connect with her, and she's fabulous Argentinian. Each season, she really focuses on a particular destination or country or inspiration, and so it's fun to watch her designs kind of come out seasonally. This is Cara Larga. They just do beautiful, I think, weaved kind of fabric pieces, but they also do art. I just love kind of the texture of it.
I love it, and the contrast with all of the colors that you have going on is a really interesting visual intersection.
Really went for it.
That's one thing I appreciate about you, though. So much of you have a very eclectic, like, there's colors, there's patterns, it's bold, there's some fringe, there's some gold or silver, and all of it goes together, and it goes with your essence that you give off. So that's something I just really value.
You're kind. Sometimes too much, but why not?
Is there a thing? Is that a thing, though?
Is there a thing?
I don't think so.
Something I was really excited to share with you was by Talía Cu, I think is how you pronounce her name. It's Guadalajara. And she writes this Latin zine highlighting small makers and brands, mostly fashion. It's just opened up a whole new world.
When you shared the zine, the way that was visualized, I was like, ooh, I would love that, and I love that. And so I love, especially if it's delivered to your inbox, or it's when you're scrolling on TikTok, but having all of these different independent designers shared with you that you can then learn more about.
It's great because then you're really uplifting these small makers, and all the volume of content and news and social media. It's nice when there's these kind of curated spaces that resonate. And for us with the Biennial, we are always looking to learn a little bit more, find makers, and see how we might incorporate them into the work we're doing or future trips. And so, yeah, that's a gem.
Yeah. As you think about the different ways that your sense of self and style has evolved, what does imagining yourself into existence today mean for you?
I think with age does come a stronger opportunity to have a stronger self-brand or confidence in that brand, however that might unfold. I think the bolder we can be in aligning what we wear outside with how we're feeling on the inside does bring in that strong sense of self that allows you to move through spaces confidently and to be a little experimental. I think that's okay too. I love vintage pieces as well, so
You have a good vintage collection.
And consignment. I think that's another piece too. There's something really interesting that these tangible pieces can pass through hands and bodies, and that we then can wear them in a way that they can embody how we feel and or how we want to feel. I remember before I left for college, my mom had found this beautiful kind of prom skirt on major discount. I think it was $10 from like a TJ Maxx kind of, off the rack kind of situation. And I took it to college with me. And I remember any day I was feeling like I just needed a pump, I would just wear this prom skirt with a tank top. And it just came with me through life. And I eventually I'd cut an inch or two off of it because I was like, I think I want it to be midi. And then it was like, oh, let's go. Anyways, I just remember how that might have been one of my first experiences of how you can kind of align with maybe how you want to feel or how you are feeling with what we adorn our bodies with.
I agree with that. I like that invitation.
You probably have a piece like that. I
have
a couple.
I would say I have a few. Adele Dayak from Africa, her jewelry for sure. A few pieces that I got in Barcelona. So Mesnikovic, beautiful things. There are more, but those are two in particular that when you put them on, it gives you that sense that you were talking about.
I think I want to reinvest in a long prom skirt.
Long prom skirt. I'm here for it.
Okay, let's do it.
It's time. It's time.
All right, I'll try and find a picture.
A few weeks ago, the Biennial hosted a conversation about the intersection of fashion and leadership that brought together different members of the Culture Club. It was intimate and it was great to hear from different people about that, but I wonder for you how that conversation intersects with the one that we're having today.
Yeah, I was really grateful to the folks who came and who opened up around it, because I waver back and forth. I think I don't want to presume that everybody is as interested in what they put on every day as I do, but I think that group was curated in a way that it brought together people who do. They've really leaned into, hey, this is the armor I put on to walk through the world. This is how I want to be perceived by people. This is safety that I've provided for myself. I think it was amazing to almost in some ways resonate how I feel with some of these other folks, even though those aren't my lived experiences either, but and also feel a little validated with that this can matter to people. These makers behind things are a valuable part of the story, and how we also build community.
As we're wrapping up our conversation today, how would you describe the work of the Biennial in a sentence, and why should people get involved?
Thanks for asking that. The Biennial of the Americas creates connections, builds community, and inspires change across the Americas. And we do that through bringing together amazing leaders and community like yourself, makers like we talked about, but also innovators and ideas leaders. And so we do that in a number of different platforms, some social, but some more formal and educational. And I think we're crafting a space that people can bring their most full self to a space, and to build community and build friendship and to be inspired.
Awesome. Well, I have very much valued being involved with the Biennial and the Culture Club, so I'm excited to see where we go from here. Okay. And thank you for joining me today, FloraJane.
Well, thanks, Josh. You are a dear friend and a dear part of our community, and we appreciate your support and advocacy and having more conversations like this.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to Adorned in Imagination. We'll talk to you soon.